right, hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever Tea with Linda podcast. Well, fine. Hello, Spencer. Thank you for joining me for the first ever Tea with Linda podcast. How are you today?
I feel like I got roped into this situation, if I'm being honest now.
Well, you kind of did, sweetie. Don't you know?
Well, the issue is I kind of roped myself into it.
Well, you did that as well. So for our first podcast, we will be using my favorite teapot.
The one she's ruined.
It is metal. It says the Perfectly Brewed Teapot. I bought this from World Market 5-6 years ago.
It's got to be closer to a decade.
No, it hasn't been quite that long. It has a nasty ass patina in it that will not come off, and I am very proud of that. We will be using my favorite standard black tea, berries. Those go to, I don't know, because they screw in. Alright, so with berries, I put 5 tea bags in. And yes, you are seeing it in a Yorkshire Gold box. I use this box for all my tea, at least out here in the studio. We have boiled water, and they're now pouring.
We've gone through a lot of microphones in this series. A lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of meh.
Do you want me to make the tea in the pot, or do you want to make your own?
Just do it in the pot. Actually, wait, no. If you do it in the pot, you're going to do the Linda way, right?
Right.
I don't really like the Linda way.
Well, then you can do your own. That's why we have cream and sugar. Sugar,
and
raw.
Stirring stick.
And our half and half. And these two are part of the Hugo series from T2.
You could definitely make those.
Oh yeah. The lid is very cute. I have dropped the lid inside of this several times, and it's taken me forever to dig it back out. I suck at lids, though. I don't make lids very well.
Well, I mean, you could just, well, I don't know. I don't really know how hard it would be, but I'm guessing you just make an entire sphere. Well, not a sphere, but an entirely enclosed thing, like a pumpkin. I mean, you just carve out the lid.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured you have to get your hand in there somehow.
Yes and no. You can do it that way, but you're talking about making it an enclosed vessel, and that takes skill. And I've only made an enclosed vessel, a dozen times at this point, and they've never been this small because I have fat, chubby hands, and so.
Plus, I'm guessing it'll be a lot harder with your nails as they are.
Well, the nails would have to be shorter. Yes, because I haven't been doing anything as of late. That's why I've have long nails. But yes, as soon as I get my clay recycled, they will be going back to short. So no more beautiful hand and short hand. Yay! All right, I have turned my timer for the tea to elapse. At this point, I am going to make my first cup. This is also a nice porcelain cup that I have gotten from T2.
She's stained.
It is absolutely stained.
It's shouted.
It is patinaed like you would not believe. The bottom is just gross. But you know what? That's okay. I use this teacup every day that I am out here in the studio, and I love it. I love it. All right, here is sucra for you. And I don't know what I did with the other. So hold that thought. Nope, I gotta get up for it. So, on this first ever podcast, I thought long and hard, Spencer, about what we should discuss. And I enjoy my true crime. I watched several videos.
There was a think piece that was put out on YouTube that I've been meaning to watch about how about true crime and the disillusionment of police. Because I gotta say, that's kind of the gist I've gotten from all the true crime that I've seen. It's basically the cops suck.
No, I wouldn't think that at all. I mean,
I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say that
It's
myself. That's what the presenter was saying. But at the same time, I kind of get the vibe. Because, yeah, you hear a lot of true crime. It's just the police didn't do such a good job researching. They didn't
well,
gather enough evidence.
okay, the issue is that you may have more time on your hand. Imagine doing your full-time job, all right? You have a family afterwards that takes your time as well, trying to solve a mystery. Okay, yes, that's their job, but not only do they have like they don't just have one mystery to
I don't
solve.
know. It's probably
They
it's
have
a collection. It's a
several
shit
that they
ton.
have to
It's a
do.
lot of work. I'm not denying that.
And
I,
I don't think that's fair to make that kind of statement. I think they do the best that they can do under the circumstances, and you move on from it. It's
and I do understand that after a certain point, you just call it a cold case and you move on. Because, yeah, you can't, like, these true crime, uh, I don't even know if they are people,
well, yeah,
devotees.
you can't sit around and
You're a detective slash cop. You don't have however long it takes to do research and actually crack the mystery
yeah,
all inside of a working day.
you don't have the day to be able to sit around and watch the Lisa Lamb video, 1,000 times. It has been 3 minutes. I have taken my tea bags out,
But I don't
and
know. It's just a little strange, and I do have to admit it. Just hearing that uh, general statement, I'm like, yeah, I can buy it.
oh my god, the color of this tea is just amazing and beautiful. Well,
But I'll have to see what the lady says because that was just the opener.
the thing is that I thought about that, that we could discuss true crime, but then I thought, I don't really know enough about all of that to, keep it going. What do I know a lot about? I know a lot about ceramics, but that's really of nobody's interest except someone who's
Well, I mean,
doing it.
what are we calling this podcast?
Well, it's tea with Linda. You're having tea with me, and we're having a conversation. So I thought our first conversation would be about something we both know a boatload about. What is that?
Greenhouse emissions.
Disney.
Oh.
Let's talk about Disney.
All
So
right, the amount of liquid that's in this cup is pretty much a bowl at this point.
that's not a bowl.
It's a bowl.
That's not a bowl. It's a teacup.
It's a bowl.
It's not. Anyway. Hello, Stormy again. Hello, Stormy again. So Stormy has taken a break from her pups to come out here and
I don't think that's the right term because I think she wants to feed them.
oh well, then when we're done with this, we will go in and feed your puppies because Spot probably needs. I'm having to tube. I have to shove a tube down for Spot's little throat to get him. But as of yesterday, he was back up to his birth weight. So yay!
Only took a week.
And several frantic phone calls to the vet.
Yeah,
So,
that's some sugar.
ouch. Okay, Storms. Okay, so
How do you drop the lid in? Oh, I guess like that.
yeah. All right. So when I say the word, or when I say we're going to Disney World, what do you think?
Again,
Okay.
it's not that I don't like going to Disney. I've always enjoyed it. It's just we do seem to go a lot.
Well, we do go a lot. It is it is so much. Okay, as an adult, I actually enjoy going to Disney more without you boys when it's just me and your dad than I enjoy it with the family, but I enjoy it more when it's just me and your dad. So, the reason I enjoy going with your father,
You guys can swear, stay up all night, drink alcohol without us being like, drunk parent.
no, it's it's because we don't have to listen to you guys whine.
Well, I try my best not to whine.
The last trip we had, it was an okay trip. It was a great trip, honestly. When it's just me and your dad, we can do whatever we want to. If we want to go and ride the Frozen ride, 50,000 times, that's what we do. And we don't have to listen to again, or I've already eaten there, or I didn't like that place, or, you know, really bomb. So it's just different
Well,
when it's us.
a good amount is just picking on you because it's fun to us.
Well, that is true. And I overreact to it, so,
I mean, I enjoy going. It's just it feels like a lot. I like to go other places.
Well,
Because Disney's not really adding a lot of stuff. Granted, that has changed recently.
yeah, so let's talk about Ratatouille. Let's talk about the Ratatouille ride.
Mm.
The Ratatouille ride is a direct copy of the one from Disneyland Paris. And not that that's a bad thing. I mean, it's a fun ride and I enjoy it. I wish they would have changed it up a little bit. You know, they had a little more space they could have added, but I don't know where. But it's a fun ride and it's nice. Um,
Speaking of Ratatouille, though, my main complaint, it was going to be odd, but they say trackless. And I don't think that's a right term.
well, yes, okay. So by them saying trackless means that there is not
It's not a
any,
straight
it is
line.
not, no, no, it's not anything that is raised that wheels have to go upon a tubular track of any
No,
sort
I get
or a
that.
square track.
I get that.
The
I just find
track
it a
is
misnomer.
embedded in the floor, and so the floor is smooth, therefore making it appear to be trackless.
I think it's a wrong terminology.
I see what they're
Because
going for.
I do too, but at the same time, it's not trackless to me because you can see the tracks.
Well, yeah, but that's
It's not like a car going through a 4 lane interchange where they're in the center of all 4 lanes. There's literally nothing, but all the cars still go the same way.
well,
So
but
it's you could say a car is a trackless train, which is technically true, but at the same time, it's just kind of like it's on a predetermined path. It's not
well,
really trackless.
it's meaning that it does not have wheels that are following along a pre-molded raised track.
I just find the terminology weird. But again, I'm arguing semantics here.
Okay, so do you think the Ratatouille ride is worth waiting an hour for it?
I think it goes by too fast.
Or do you think it's worth waiting an hour for it?
Sure, but I think it's good. I think it's too fast, and the only way I can explain that is the ride's like what 2.5, 3 minutes.
Something like that.
I feel like it's too fast. Now, granted, I understand they can't. You wait in line for an hour. You can't have you can't have a 15-minute ride. That's just too long to get people through.
No, I hold on to that thought. Continue.
I feel like it goes by too fast, and
So you,
I know it's not following the movie per se, but I wish the ride was longer. That way, the story of the ride could be a little more brought out as opposed to, oh hey, we're just a fly on the shoulder of 5 main scenes from Ratatouille, and that's it.
okay,
Plus an end note,
so you would wait an hour for the ride.
probably.
Would you wait two?
No.
All right. So would you wait an hour and a half?
Yeah. I mean, granted, I've never actually gone through the actual standby queue.
That is true. We have not. We've
I mean,
I don't know if you should consider that lucky or not.
well, I consider it unlucky because with Avatar,
I mean, there's a lot
we
that
always
we miss
yeah,
in the queues.
because when we went through Avatar with the troop, I preferred the standby line because you actually got to envelop all the theming and everything as opposed to the fast pass where you just or the
Well,
pass that we have where you just basically walk up and it's right there.
yeah,
Because you miss all of the theme, you miss the build up, all the
well, you
information,
miss
the scenery, the vibes.
you miss what envelops you into the story.
It's just like there's
Yeah, I mean, and that
it,
does suck.
it is a little tiring.
All
I
right.
would not wait 3 hours for any ride though. That is 2 hours. Probably not either. Because 2 hours is a lot of time, especially in a theme park that's that expensive.
Okay, so let's talk about Rise of the Resistance then. All right, so huge thing over in Galaxy's Edge, Rise of the Resistance. Huge, long ass queue, envelops you in the story. And what part of that, because theoretically speaking, you have one pre-show, a short walk to another pre-show,
To a
to
third pre-show.
to a hangar, to another wait, and then another
Pre-show.
pre-show,
And then the ride.
and then the ride.
Yeah.
And so your Rise of Resistance, by the time when you get to the first room where your ride actually, if you want to say starts, where your first pre-show is, because that's where they stop counting with the how long the wait is.
Yeah.
So if you're at your first pre-show, which is where Ray and BB-8 is, from there to the end of the ride, you've got like, 20 to 30 minutes.
Probably.
All right. How long would you wait for that ride? And because it has so many different ride systems on it, between centrifuges and trackless rides and
Well,
um,
I would say about half an hour going from the first pre-show to getting on the carts, because that seems like a good enough time. I've seen it slow down a lot, but that's usually just because it breaks. It's not because someone tripped and broke their ankle.
no, but like before you even enter the queue, if it was a 2 hour queue, would you wait?
Probably, because there's a lot of interesting things in the queue itself after you get inside.
That's true, and they have put a lot of the stuff from the movies in there too.
Yeah,
All right, would you wait 2.5 hours?
no,
So
because that means it's broken.
your breaking point for waiting for Rise of the Resistance is 2 hours.
Yeah, because
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff there. It's not just staring at a blank wall and be like, the artist really put a lot of time making sure the brushstrokes flow evenly into the brick.
They did spend a lot of time, and at least they built seats into that one,
Yeah,
so which is nice.
yeah.
Okay, so then let's pop over to the other side of Galaxy's Edge, to Smuggler's Run, which is a simulator ride.
I'd only wait an hour, maybe an hour and a half, just so I could annoy Alexander with the random pictures.
Would you wait an hour and a half if you knew that you weren't going to get to be the pilot?
I mean, yeah, because I mean, literally all the other positions you're doing, you're hitting one flashing button and that's it.
Right. So
You're just staring out the window doing this.
so you would be okay waiting an hour and a half to just press a button.
Yeah, because you're just doing this, and they complain at the pilot's like, "Wow, great job going left, huh?
All right. So
Hard to port, hard to port. Starboard, starboard."
Sturbird. All right, then let's jump over to Toy Story Land.
Oh yeah, hell no. I'm not waiting any longer than 5 minutes for uh Slinky Dog.
Really?
No shade. No shade on that ride.
I'd wait half an hour for Slinky Dog.
Yeah, half an hour is probably my breaking limit either, because there's very little shade, and honestly, it's in Florida.
Yeah, there's very little shade. What
Especially,
about
especially because we forget to put sunscreen on slash don't care enough.
what about Midway Mania?
An hour, because I can do it because there's a lot of shade. Plus the ride moves fairly quickly, but it's just strange
All right.
because the theming is good, ish. It's just the vibe gets kind of tiring very fast. And
So
then you remember, oh yeah, no, we haven't played Scrabble in a while.
so what about the alien swirling saucers in it? Because even if it's a walk on, I won't wait for that. I think that ride is a waste of my time and a waste of space. But yet I always end up riding it.
Well, if it's a walk on, sure. 10, sure. 15, sure. 20, 30, 45, no.
If I had smaller children, like if you guys were, 5 or 8, I would absolutely wait longer for that ride because that's a fun ride you could do with your little ones.
Yeah.
But y'all are grown up now. It's not as
It's
much
it's
fun.
a nice way to end the night of like,
Is it?
yeah, if it's a walk on, it's like, hey, we got 5 minutes before we're kicked out,
Well, I guess
or
that's true.
semisonic. It's like,
I
yeah, let's just ride it,
I guess that's true.
because no one else wants to ride it.
Oh, all right.
It's just like, all right, let's go home.
So now that we've gone through Hollywood Studios, we're not going to talk about all the other rides, even though there aren't that many that we didn't. I mean, Tower of Terror, I won't ride. You can't pay me. You could not pay me to ride Tower of Terror. I
I
won't do
really
it.
enjoy that ride, but honestly, when the line gets to like 3 hours, I'm like, nah, that's too long of a line, honestly.
I won't do it.
Plus it breaks a lot now, which is sad.
Well, they only have one side going right now,
Yeah.
so that's why the lines are so long. And then the Rock and Roller Coaster, I can do without Aerosmith. They've been there for a while. It would be nice to have it refreshed a bit with a newer older band. You know, Someone said Queen. There was a rumor going around they were going to change it to Queen because of some allegations against Steven Tyler.
That's interesting, but who the hell are we gonna get for Freddie Mercury? Are we gonna get Remy Malek to do it?
Well, I don't know. It's there was another rumor some years back about having it be Journey. I'd be fine with Journey.
That would be interesting.
I would be good with Journey. But anyway, so I don't know. It's down for its annual refurbishment right now, and anyway, all right. So let's let's pop over to Epcot because that's where we were first when we were talking about Ratatouille.
Mm.
Let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
My feelings wax and wane with my mood.
I love that ride. I think that ride is so freaking amazing. When we went on it the very first time, back in September, your dad and um, I think I had a poop eating grin on my face the entire time. I was singing along. I was dancing in my seat. It was amazing. I didn't care what the story was. For all I care, that could have just been any story. I so enjoyed that ride just with the ride system itself, moving around like it did and how it spins you and gives you those feelings, of
Damn it.
weightlessness for a moment. I thoroughly enjoy that ride. And we've been blessed enough to be able to ride it multiple times when we're there. Um, I do miss that we haven't been able to go through the whole standby queue. Um, you do miss some of that with the lightning going through the lightning lane, but that's another one that you have, two pre-shows and then a
Oh wait,
queue
and then the
and then the
ride.
ride. So that walking from the door from the entrance door to the exit door, you need to allow yourself an hour for that one. And we figured that one out the hard way because we almost missed a dining reservation. Um,
But my feelings about the ride wax and wane with my mood. Because
Explain.
it's not a bad ride. It's fascinating. It's a lot better than Ellen's Journey Through Time or whatever the hell the title was. Because that was a nap. That was
Yeah, that was a good nap.
that was a very good nap.
That was a very good nap ride.
Uh,
If you're interested in nap rides, we'll talk about that next.
but other than that, uh, the tech is cool. The first time I rode it, I was in the back of the carriage.
So you were in the front
No,
when it went off.
yes, but my issue is I couldn't follow the story of the ride,
Who gives a
and
shit about the
well,
story?
I do. Granted, I found it a little strange, but movie logic. It just is what it is.
I
Um,
mean, you have a raccoon on an iPad telling you that he's figured out how to make your shuttle chase after the big man. I mean, it's a talking raccoon. You have to suspend your belief
well,
anyway.
no, I have. It's just I didn't get the story the first time because we were in the back, so whatever was happening, we're always
It always happened, and then you saw it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then it would lead to something else. The second time I was at the front, the story was a lot easier to follow. I just kind of find it meh as a ride besides the story. It's good, but the technology itself is just vomit inducing for me.
For some people, it is very vomit inducing. That's why they have so many trash cans at the exit.
Well, and I do agree with the statements I remember hearing of the fact that it's vomit inducing, and then you have to go up and then down some stairs. Could cause a lot of problems. Even though I think I remember only hearing one story about someone falling and hurting something in blood.
Well, it's being on the scooter like I am. It does suck that you get off the ride, you get on the scooter and go to the elevator, and then you have to
Go across.
wait. You've got to wade through the hallway there to go across to another lift that takes you down. It is a little annoying, but that's just exit queue.
Oh yeah, but other than that, it's just I don't know how I feel about it anymore. I don't know if I can get behind just how if I can excuse how vomit inducing it is and how much of a headache it gives me every single time I get off of it.
As long as I don't have ears on while I'm riding it, I'm okay headache wise.
Yeah. But other than that, it's a ride and it's better than Ellen's.
Well, I enjoy it.
I
I
would
think
like
it's
to
fun.
I would like to see the entire pre-show though, just to see if that solidifies my idea of it. Besides just running up to the entrance.
Hopefully,
Granted,
yeah, I
and
don't know.
if I remember correctly, the weight the standard weight is basically just the giant spiral, and then you basically get to the front room without
Eh,
actually give time to hear the presenter talk about Xandaria.
what is one of your top beefs? One of your big problems that you have with Disney, as far as in the parks?
beefs about the parks. Uh, I probably have to say it's a toss up between the price, uh, the availability, meaning how long the lines are because other people are there, and for lack of a better word, staleness.
Okay.
I'll go backwards. So stale. Granted, I know it's a very expensive place. They're not opening a new hot dog stand every other week with a new
Right.
head chef. But I mean, it feels because you and Dad go like what 3 times a year ish.
We go at least once a quarter.
Yeah, and for me, I'd like to go when new things open, but not right away because I don't want the long ass lines.
Right.
But after that, I don't need to go for like another 6, 7, maybe a year. Cause yeah, not a lot's happening constantly.
All right.
Um, the second is the lines. I understand. Well, this ties into the first point, price. I understand in a technical sense that Disney is trying to deal with the lines. The way to deal with the lines is to raise the prices. That way, it becomes an economic or class issue where uh, the more the people can't afford to go, the more the people can afford to go will go.
Yeah, but the thing with
But then it decreases emissions, but then it would jack up the prices, but then it would just keep going up and up and up until it becomes as opposed to this is gonna sound strange. I remember in the early thousands the first time we went in like '07. I remember hearing that Disney was the everyman's vacation because it wasn't like dirt cheap. It wasn't Hershey Park, but it was cheap enough to be like,
right.
Dad, if you save up if we don't go on a vacation this year, can we go to Disney next year? It's like, yeah, sure, we can make it. Most people can make that work, but now it's boy
Right.
howdy, it's a
It's you don't go to Disney on a spontaneous thing. You don't wake up one morning and say, "Let's go to Disney World," because it doesn't happen.
no.
You have
I
to,
don't think a lot of people can even afford that idea.
yeah, you have to plan, and as it is, we're pretty much experts at being able to go and maneuver around and do things, and we know how stuff works. Even at that, your dad ends up spending most of his day on the phone
Yeah.
juggling stuff and flip flopping and doing things for us to be able to get on rides and get foods and things like that. And it's not it doesn't so much take the fun out of it, but you
It
know,
turns it from a vacation to
it's work.
yeah, a chore.
It's work. Me being on the ECV, it's stressful. It is very stressful being on a scooter in that park. Um, I have my own scooter. Um, I know how it works. We had rented years before that. I knew how those worked. Um, People that don't know how their scooters work are a danger.
Oh yeah.
People that is their first time there, they're a danger. You know, People stop. They're talking and they just stop.
Middle of the walkway.
And you know,
5 abreast.
yeah, when you're walking 5 and 6 abreast and you're taking up the whole freaking walkway, it's
At that point, I'm not afraid to bump into you.
well,
I'll just be like, "Oops, sorry, sir. Can you
it's
get out there?"
hard to maneuver around. It's hard to stop fast like that. It's you know the thing that upsets me the most is people that don't watch their children and their children start to run out in front of me at the ECV, and then the parents, they see me because you can't miss me. They, oh no, don't come back here, you don't want to be that close, oh, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to run over your kid. Maybe I should, but I'm not going to. I have only purposely one time in the past 8 visits, one time purposely tried to clip somebody in the hill because she. Anyway, all right. So, what's your favorite ride?
Of all the parks?
Well, let's do it this way. You have one day that you're going to be there. What park do you go to? Do you need a tapa?
No.
Oh.
One park.
One park, or no, one day. You can park hop, but you only have one day. Where are you going? And what are you doing?
Animal Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah. They have a lot of good stuff, a good variety. And
Eh,
at least for the safari, depending on what time of day, you might be able to see different animals doing different things,
that's true.
which is fun because all the rides are just the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Yeah. Uh, but I would park up to uh, MGM and then
Hollywood Studios.
ride the Tower of Terror,
All right.
and maybe Star Tours because I do enjoy Star Tours. It's not the randomness is not randomness enough, but I like the fact that they do have new sequences every once in a while.
All right. Star Tours really makes me want to vomit.
Yeah, it's not as much as
I could ride
Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1,000 times before and only ride Star Tours once, and I get the same
Wow,
vomit
wow,
comment.
wow! Because this is too much for you, but woo! Well,
Well,
it doesn't flip, but
yeah,
yeah,
I
it's too
don't know.
much.
It's totally different. Star Tours makes me want to get yak, and I can't do the Mission to Mars anymore at all.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. I love that one, but yeah, I mean the orange is fun, but I definitely couldn't do that all day.
Yeah, I can't.
It would be too much.
I can't even do it anymore.
Plus, I miss I forget the guy's name.
Gary Sinise.
Yeah, I miss him.
Yeah. All right. So, what's your least favorite park? Hence ride.
Well, I don't know about park. Parks in general. I'd probably put them all at the same level.
All right. So, what's your least favorite ride?
Splash Mountain.
Well, it's gone. So it's gone as of yesterday, I think. So
Other than Splash Mountain, I don't really know. Because Swiss Family Robinson, that's not technically a ride. That's just a walk.
yeah, that's just yeah.
Uh, hmm. I'd have to see a list because I'm blanking on anything besides Splash Mountain.
All right. So my favorite park by far is Animal Kingdom.
Plus, the food at Animal Kingdom is fantastic.
Animal Kingdom has some really good food.
I could go for a gyro.
I enjoy Expedition Everest. I like it a lot more when it's dark outside, though.
Disco Yeti.
Love the Disco Yeti. So Animal Kingdom's my favorite park, just because of all the thought and love that went into that park. That park, you can look at it and tell that that park was made with love.
And in the 90s.
Yeah. Hashtag love Joe Rody. Um, all right, so let's see. I don't I don't have a least favorite park. I mean, I'm okay with going to any of them. Um,
Well, we don't really go to the water parks.
oh, well, no, I've never been to the water parks. I am not a water park person. I don't want someone to go land ho while they're talking to me. I
Jesus,
just,
Mom, that's terrible. Is that just an imaginary asshole that's in your mind? You're going down the water slide. You pop out. Some asshole teenager was probably semi-stoned. Is like, whale.
oh yeah, I don't know.
Or some of that supportive cannonball.
You know, I'm.
I mean, granted, we all have those imaginary people.
Yeah, I know. I used to be really thin. I was a size two. Uh, back after I had Ethan. Anyway, that's another story. That's another lifetime
Drugs,
ago.
kids, stay skinny.
That's before I got sick. I was sick.
Well, you broke it. You broke it. You slipped the disc.
Well, there's a lot of things. I have two slip discs in my neck, three in my back. I have rheumatoid arthritis in my joints, fibromyalgia. Um,
Gesundheit.
yeah, I have issues. I have so many issues. Anyway, um, my least favorite ride. I mean, I won't get on Mission to Mars. I don't like doing Star Tours. I am not a big fan of the Jungle Cruise. I think it's stupid and hokey, and I can do without it. Um, Especially because if you break down in that ride, it takes them forever,
Oh,
forever
yeah,
to get
we
you.
broke down the wall
We,
once at the end of the night. It was.
oh, no, no,
I'm amazed the cast member had so much content because we were stuck on the boat like second in line to get off for like I swear to God, an
Hours.
hour.
It's okay. So we
That was a
had
lot of content she burned through, though.
that was back in 2019. They were having the villains nights then. And you know me, I'm a villain. I'm not a princess, I'm a villain. And it was an after hours party. We paid
God, it was
I
probably
don't
like
know,
$100.
it was 150 a person. There were 6 of us at that point. You know, I had went and got my makeup done for it. I had a dress, my Maleficent dress. We went all out for it. It was awesome. And then we went on the Jungle Cruise, and it was only 4 hours for the after hours event. It was 4 hours, and we spent 2 of that at Jungle Cruise because the wait to get on and all that other fun stuff. And then our boat broke down,
No, no, it wasn't ours.
and no, it was our
No,
boat.
it was the person in front of us.
No, it was our boat.
Wait, which one am I thinking of?
I don't know what you're thinking of, but our boat's the one that broke. Because the boat in front of us asked if they could help, but they couldn't. So they had to get out of the way so that the other boat could come from up front to back where we were to get us. They had to tow us in.
No, I don't. It
Yeah.
wasn't our boat.
Yes, it was our boat. And so it was 2 hours that we were there between the queue and everything and the ride and breaking down. The skipper was amazing. She was awesome the whole time.
She
I
just kept
don't,
blabbing.
she had so many freaking dad jokes. I mean, she was awesome. But it took so long and it wasted so much of our after hours.
I mean, I feel like I got
Um,
$100 worth of puns out of there. I forgot immediately.
Well, there were free snacks that night, like Cokes and ice creams. So I told everybody, get as many Mickey bars as you can. Year later, I'm pulling Mickey bars out of my backpack. That was gross. So Jungle Cruise, I can do without you.
Mm.
Splash Mountain, I never really liked a great deal. I've seen Song of the South. I knew the story of Bear Rabbit growing up. I didn't have any issues with it, but I just didn't. Why have a log flume? I don't know. I didn't enjoy that, and I don't like Tom Sawyer Island. I mean, it's just
It's a walkthrough.
it's a walkthrough that you know. But I love Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Every time Haunted Mansion and um, Pirates. I don't like how Pirates smells, but I love Haunted Mansion. Carousel of Progress is great.
Yeah.
It's a good nap place. Hall of Presidents is a good nap place.
Oh, it's a very good nap, honestly.
It's interesting. I enjoy going to Disney because I like being able to be a kid and play.
And spend money like it doesn't exist.
I have quite the ear collection.
I don't
Worst,
know.
worst ride, best ride.
Uh, well, because I'm a little
Pardon me.
stingy about it. The Frozen ride's pretty bad.
I would rather have Maelstrom.
Yeah. But to be honest, I don't really remember a lot about Maelstrom except the Viking aspect and then the boat going
Backwards,
backwards
yeah.
and then being able to see the ass of the boat
Yeah.
on the outside and then going back in. But honestly, that's all I remember about it. I didn't remember if it was good. That's it. Other than that, uh,
I love the way the shop smells. That clean, crisp.
Guinness.
Yeah, the man that makes the fragrance at the last shop there before the bakery, his name is Gear Ness. And next time we're at Epcot, if he's there, I'm buying some of his fragrance and getting his autograph. Because let me tell you something, Mr. Ness, I like your fragrances. Anyway, continue. Worst ride, worst ride, best ride.
Uh, uh, I don't know. I was gonna pull up a list and I got distracted by Twitter.
Well, this just off the top of your head.
I don't know.
I don't want you to research it, just off the top of your head, because that's what's sunk in.
Well, I have no idea.
Okay. So favorite ride for me, absolutely Haunted Mansion. Can do without Jungle Cruise. At Magic Kingdom. At Epcot, worst ride would probably be Mission to Mars. Best ride, absolutely Guardians of the Galaxy. With Soarin' as a tight second. At Animal Kingdom, best ride would probably be Expedition Everest because I love the Disco Yeti. Worst
Oh,
ride.
it's a small world.
Uh,
The But we've been
Worst ride at Animal Kingdom for me, the Kali River Rapids. At Hollywood Studios, best ride. Um, I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a little while. Um, Worst ride would probably be the Alien Swirling Saucers. Um, Best ride. I'm kind of torn. I'm torn between Rise of the Resistance and Slinky Dog Dash, because I like them both, but for different reasons. Rise I like because I like seeing if I can break the first order characters, and I did it once,
oh, I
making an
swear,
ass out of myself, but
I
did it.
swear, I've cracked about the probulator.
Oh, they didn't enjoy that.
No, honestly, it's like I don't watch people normal. Like I know they're hard to break, but it's just
No, I did that one guy. Were you there when I broke him?
I don't know.
Anyway, that made my day. I was so happy that day.
Also, okay, the Empire is clearly British. Like,
Well, no,
they are clearly British.
Every evil, anytime that you have an evil person and a good person, the evil person always has a British accent, and I don't know why this is.
Well, at least in Star Wars, it's because it was cheaper to film in the UK than it was America. But also, that's the only reason I know. But also, the Empire is clearly British. So even in the movies, they say lieutenant. They say lieutenant.
Well,
Because that's what the British say. It's lieutenant, not lieutenant to them. So when we were going through the ride the last time, and some American, I say American because clearly, he says I'm a lieutenant, and I'm like, oh god, because I was just in I was in a good mood. I felt like messing with him. So sorry, it's lieutenant. He's like, what? It's lieutenant. You're British. The guy just did not take it.
yeah, you gotta be careful how some people are with their immersivenesses.
I know, but it's one of those like I'm in a good mood. I feel like messing with a guy, and he clearly said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right. Well,
And it was after I finished Andor, which is a very good show.
well, it is late. Our tea has gone cold. We have bored you with all of this. And there's so much more I could talk about with Disney other than the rides. Maybe we'll do another one of these. Thanks for sticking through the first Tea with Linda podcast. Thank you, Spencer, for being my guest today. And thank you, Barriers, for making a scrumptious tea because I thoroughly enjoyed it. All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.